Welcome to Djangonaut Space Showcase. So it is we are organizing this space because if like someone want to practice their public speaking, they can share their talk in a friendly space. So you guys don't have to worry about making mistakes or something. We are just all friends here, so you can just make mistakes as many as you want. Uh, so the main format of the talk is we have like first 5 minutes, that is like 11:04 here, so 4 minutes have passed for first 5 minutes for people to join, and then we are gonna start the talks. So for we are gonna start the talks. Everybody will get 5 minutes for their talk, and if after 5 minutes I will tell you, or you could end your talk, however it is gonna go. So so I'm gonna introduce speakers. We have Philip from Team Saturn. They are working on Django Core. Koffi from Team Saturn, they are also working on Django Core. And Abe from Team Venus, they are also working on Django Core, and Philippe from Team Neptune. So, so first of all, we are continuing with Philip Narteh if he has joined. Yeah, he has joined. So we are continuing with that. I'm gonna
Yes.
share.
Yes.
This is slide.
Okay. So my name is Philip Nat, and on Team Saturn. I don't know if Team Saturn, the accessibility team is part of Django Core, but Team Saturn is contributing in Django accessibility. And I'll be giving a title, Ask Early, Ask Often. So before the Djangonaut space, open source felt like the big intimidating thing for me. I imagine contributors being people who just knew things, so they clone a repo, make some changes, then boom, they are merged. But after I joined this program, I've learned that yeah, in open source communities, questions are really valued, and we should all strive to ask them. So joining the Django Node space, I has completely shattered the view I had about asking questions. So particularly in this Django community. So since I started contributing to this project, I've asked many questions. And the best part is that ask questions, they are actually encouraged. So an example in my team, always in our weekly check-ins, there are occasions where a Django not to have a question for the navigator, and the navigator doesn't have an answer immediately. Then she encourages you to, oh, ask it in the Discord or put it in the forum. And that has stood out to me because I I imagine mentors to know, but this has shown that as a mentor, there are also people who ask these questions. The discussions that you bring up are really fruitful, and I like how they go. So aside from core contributions, received feedback on things I didn't set out to get from this program. So I got into this program to just contribute to Django. But after I joined this program, I've received feedback from my mentor, feedback on um, and proposal submissions. All these have been I set out to get from this program. So all I have to do to get this from people was to just ask. And you'll be surprised how willing people are available to help you. So the essence of this short talk is to encourage people who had the mindset I had that don't hesitate to ask for help in this community. Always ask when you need help, and yeah, you'll get it. So I encourage everybody, you should always ask early, ask often. And as I've written on this slide, I think the best open source contributors don't know everything. They just ask questions early and often. So thank you.
Yeah, great talk, Philip Narteh. And uh, I'm sorry if like I butchered someone's name. Yeah, so our next presenter is Koffi.
Yes, thanks, Farhan. Hi, everyone. So yes, my name is Koffi. I'm in the Saturn team, also with Philip. So today I'll talk to you about various things that I learned through my experience in the Djangonaut space since a few weeks. So the first thing is about the importance of accessibility in technology and in web. It's something that us tech engineers we used to overlook, but it's very important. It's about bringing more people to use our products, and it's not only for disabilities. It's also it can touch various things. By example, um, how fast your websites can be downloaded. And me, I was born in Benin. Today, in some areas, you can have a very bad connection, or sometimes it can be very costly. And I can see the impact of accessibility because if you have a website that can load very fast with very minimal information, you can reduce the cost. So it's very important, not just for people, but even for business. The second thing is about the ticketing system of Django. I used to think that most open source projects use GitHub for the issues for the ticketing, and I just discovered that Django use his own. I don't know why. It will be interesting to know if there is a story behind it. But yeah, it's interesting to know that. Okay, AI also very important of AI. I just finished a bootcamp in AI also, um, and it's I think apart from all the hype around it, that it can be very useful for open source because it can lower the access for beginners to open source projects. My example is that on one of my tickets, I was confused about a button that was present in different files. I had to modify the button. I didn't know why this button was in other files. And I just used AI to give me some help and ask him about the documentation and the code. And he gave me a little help to understand what was going on. So it's Philip talked about the fact that it can be overwhelming and daunting. So AI can help us to lower the barrier for open source contribution, but also it doesn't have all the context. So you still need humans with context, with experience, because for the tickets there was another thing related but linked to architecture, and I wasn't sure that AI could give a solution to that. So we still need human feedback a lot. And it's not just about the code. It's about documentation. On my ticket, I made the change and I thought it was over, but I learned that there was some documentation to update, and it was just changing one word. I didn't think that I needed to change documentation for that, but indeed there was a tutorial on Django where this feature was used. And yes, it's also about the documentation. It's also about the architecture, the best practice. And it's important to be patient no rush, take his time to give the best solution for our tickets. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Koffi. It was a great talk. In my understanding, why Django has a ticketing system, because like GitHub issues come after Django. So Django is very old, and
Okay. Okay.
yeah. So
Nice to
as
know.
as it is said, like old is gold. So
Okay.
and next talk is Abe Hanoka.
Hello, my name is Abe. I am very appreciative of the program. It's been a really great experience for me. The topic I'm going to talk about is sort of a side benefit you get when you contribute to open source community, to open source projects, and joining an open source community. Um, it's something that's I struggled with. My work was freelance work, and so typically that meant I was working solo on a single project, maybe collaborating with one or two people. Often they're not technical, and so that said, I didn't have much teamwork, much collaboration. People, getting reviewed or feedback on my code was something that I never really experienced, and joining the Djangonaut program really filled in all those gaps. I was working alongside my team. The PR that I worked on, the ticket that I worked on, was a long process. I got a lot of feedback. I kept iterating, and my teammates, my mentor, and others kept on commenting and contributing, and improving my understanding of Django as a whole and the process. And so to me, it really filled that gap, and which is something that when you're interviewing at larger companies, that's a skill that they want. They want to know that you can collaborate with others, and so it's sort of like a side benefit that I gained from this program, was that now I have like a story to talk about when I'm in an interview. So yeah, I'm extremely grateful. It's been a fun program, and that's all.
Thank you, Abe. It was a great talk, and congratulations for your job.
Thank you.
And next talk is from Philip.
Hello, everyone. Have some notes because I'm a little rusty on public speaking. So if you don't mind me just referring to my notes, and I'm going to echo a lot of what the other speakers have already said. You will hear me talk about AI is there in the notes. I agree with a lot of what Koffi said about lowering the entry barrier by making AI a little bit more welcome in open source. I sympathize with Philip as well. And Abe, I'm on the same boat here. I've been a solo developer for many years, for just about 3 years now only, and trying to transition to a career in tech. So who am I? After a career of 30 years in education, training, and management, I'm trying to make a career in tech now. Since January, I've been working full-time and then some as an unpaid developer. My bank account isn't thrilled, but my brain is having a great time. I taught myself to code during the pandemic, and then after 6 months of immersion, I decided to use my budding skills to automate the business that I was running at the time. That's when I chose Django for many reasons that many other developers have chosen it as well. And I've been using it nearly daily for 3 years. On my own, solo developer, much like Abe. Why I joined the program? Well, I wanted to gain confidence contributing to open source. Putting my work in public was terrifying. Every single commit, every comment felt like standing on a stage with no pants. I also wanted to navigate the Django ecosystem better, understand Track, the forum, which can seem overwhelming for a newcomer, projects like Django Commons and Jazz Band, and how they relate to Django in general. So you could say that some middle-aged men would have bought a Harley Davidson in a situation like mine, having a midlife identity crisis, but I chose instead to apply for Djangonaut Space. Now, in all seriousness, I am proud to call myself a Djangonaut. And I can't wait to get my hands on one of those Djangonaut stickers for a bike, just in case. On the technical growth, what I learned. Well, obviously debugging tools and Tim's tutorial helped me a lot with that. And then we showcased it in my first PR. The Django debug toolbar internals, of course, thanks to Matthias's presentation, Matthias's walkthrough of the release process to PyPI. I hope I'm saying it right. I think I've been saying PyPI for the longest time until I heard him say it. And just so much more related to the debug toolbar and all of that. And then talks testing, never seen anything like that. And why all of my tests were failing, and how, well, I had to run just SQLite. Nothing else is going to run on my system because I had nothing else installed. So all of that is learning. Advanced Python concepts. My God, the first time that I read that issue, a conversation, and I started going through the conversation between Tim and Matthias about the benefits of MRO versus monkey patching, I felt completely lost. I was thinking, I got to abandon this. I'm not qualified for this thing. But they came to help, and Tim recommended this wonderful video. And then I started learning about MRO and the C3 algorithm, and it all started making sense. And you know what? I think I understand it, and I think I could explain it now. So that was wonderful. Another lesson learned from the program. How then I learned more and more about it, and how Django had re-implemented it and changed it. And then, of course, finally I understood how Matthias was using it, and why that conversation between Matthias and Tim about monkey patching versus MRO and all of that. And I was able to contribute some testing for that ticket. And there goes another PR. And now I'm trying to understand better at a much deeper level than I have so far, serialization, why all of a sudden JSON became so common in this space, and understanding as much as I can about that before I contribute my PR. Community and collaboration. As I just said, I went from feeling completely lost in technical discussions to being able to contribute meaningful code. And that was in large parts thanks to the mentorship and the peer support. And as many others, I came for the code, but stayed for the community, learning from Django TV, Django News, Django Chat. I've been following them for many years. Adam Johnson, Will Vincent, Carlton Gibson, and so many others. It's a fantastic community, and I'm proud to be part of it. On the subject of confidence and mindset shift, one of the benefits that I'm already realizing out of this program is that we don't just want this to be working in Team Neptune on the Django debug toolbar, but I see it as a larger project to becoming open source contributors at large. So I was doing some studying of the docs for GeoDjango, which I'm going to start using tomorrow, and another free project that I'm working on. And I found a couple of errors. A couple of years ago, I don't know that I would have done anything about those errors. But now I opened a ticket for one of them, did some research, documented as much as I could of what I learned about the ticket. It's a library that had already been retired, and we were still mentioning in the docs for Django. And I just put my notes there. I knew I couldn't go any farther with that. I have zero experience with GeoDjango. I'm a beginner completing the tutorial. I left it at that. Then later on, I found an issue in the documentation, just an error that I could fix myself. And I just went ahead and fixed it and submitted the ticket, read the Django contribution guidelines, realized that I didn't even need an issue for something that small, and got the PR merged. And then Matthias somehow found it in the commit history. So that's already paying off, Tim, the goals of the program. You're getting people to contribute to open source. That's it. And then on my reflection on the use of AI, I could speak on these for hours, and I had to get ChatGPT to really help me trim my presentation on this topic. because I have a lot of thoughts on it. As I said, I'm a solo developer. I have been relying heavily on AI to build, support, help test, optimize a production application that is relied upon by 7,000 people in Dockerize and a lot of stuff that I put myself through that I had absolutely zero skill to work on as a free code camp graduate. So AI has helped me tremendously. And coming into this community, I was initially feeling guilty that I'd be applying the same workflow to open source. I have to accept that while I'm a beginner programmer, I'm also a critical thinker and with insatiable curiosity. AI can help onboard hesitant contributors by tackling easy pick links. I wish there were many, many more in Django. We could develop AI usage guidelines, not just for onboarding devs, but also for their AI pair programmers. I know ethical concerns exist, but for open source contribution and community growth, embracing AI is better than resisting it. As far as I am concerned, authenticity matters. I won't pretend that I spent 30 minutes parameterizing a test suite when a clever AI prompt did the job way faster than me. My rule, because I had to set myself some strict rules for using AI when committing code to production, are quite simple now. Never commit any code that I don't understand. Okay for AI to co-author, but I sign off on the work. I am accountable for any work that I have AI do with me. AI is a tool for autocompletion, not a substitute for intuition or expertise. Context matters. And then when in need of indulging in a healthy dose of confirmation bias, I just look to Simon Willison for reassurance that I haven't turned to the dark side. So what's next? Well, continue contributing to Django and open source, complete at least 2 more debug toolbar contributions before the program ends, keep refining my debugging, testing, optimization skills, improve my fundamentals with structured non-AI learning, where I force myself to read the docs, go through the man pages, yuck, and do some coding challenges with no AI support. I also want to eventually support newcomers. I know now firsthand how overwhelming it can be. I absolutely would love to attend the Django conference in the future. And of course, keep pushing toward my goal of becoming a full-time developer. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. It was a great talk and it was like really inspiring. And I can also relate because I am also like a lone developer, freelancing. So I can relate very much. And also what you talked about AI, like the AI use of AI is like you are responsible for the code if you are committing AI code. That was a great point that you made. Thank you for a great talk.